Welcome back to the Deep Dive. This is where we take the sources you choose and really pull out the core insights, helping you navigate some pretty complex ideas. Today, we're diving deep, really deep, into a fascinating transmission. It's from the Pleiadian group, specifically a message channeled from Valier.
Right, a group often linked with, let's say, cosmic perspectives. And this message talks about a huge shift, unprecedented, in human consciousness, even in, well, the fabric of reality itself.
It's definitely a compelling view. It really pushes us to rethink how we engage with information and maybe more importantly, with our own inner world.
Exactly. So our mission here, is to unpack the main ideas from this transmission. We want to explore what it means to be well-informed, not just about world events, but about these deep internal shifts the source describes.
Yeah, let's get to the essence of it.
We'll focus on the key concepts, letting you grasp this unique viewpoint without hopefully feeling too overwhelmed. It's pretty expansive stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so to start digging in, the source points us inward first, towards this really fundamental power we have. We'll be unpacking things like the immense power of your focus, your intentions.
How every thought, word, action creates these ripples. That's a key idea.
And why consciously directing your attention towards joy, hope, love is framed as vital. It's about starving old paradigms and feeding the new earth.
Then there's that really radical idea, you are the event.
Right. Not something happening to you from the sky, but something igniting within you.
And undeniable brilliance, as the source puts it. These Christos codes bursting forth, your multidimensional self merging. It's quite a concept.
And this idea of straddling dimensions.
Yeah.
How many are maybe starting to reside energetically in the quantum field, even while walking around in the physical?
Functioning in both simultaneously. We'll look at that.
There's also a historical angle, these returning energies.
Yeah, the idea that Christ consciousness may be dormant for a long time is reawakening now, and that some people recognize this from, well, lifetimes ago, fulfilling old vows.
Wow, okay. And then love is the ultimate tool, the true reality.
Not something external, but that innate spark inside, and how our current reality might just be collective expectations, conditioning.
Tied into how fear's been used, historically.
But also how ancient wisdom is apparently rising up again to guide us.
We'll also touch on shifts in relationships, life circumstances.
Yeah.
As vibrations rise, things change. Old connections fade, new ones form.
Soul family bonds, kindred souls finding each other.
And this new creative era dawning, the source actually mentions 2026 specifically.
An immense shift where we supposedly realize we're creating reality with our hearts, living as multi-layered beings.
In a universe that's holographic inclusive.
Which leads to dropping old limits, letting go of those ego-based stories of lack we've carried.
For eons, the source says, embracing the true self, radiant, weightless, free.
And your role in all this, as a catalyst of transformation, that you agreed to this mission.
Like being a furnace for divine love, transforming old stories into light.
And finally, this emerging new reality, how a world of love has maybe always coexisted, like a parallel dimension, and it's now becoming conscious.
Where everything's possible, abundance is about love and peace.
Culminating in this collective awakening, this matrix of light.
A network of unity and love connecting heart to heart around the globe. Co-created by light workers, star seeds.
So yeah, settle in. It's quite a journey we're mapping out here. We'll try to connect these dots between personal change and, well, this bigger picture of global consciousness shifting.
Okay, let's start with that first one then, the power of focus and intention. The source says, every thought, every word, every action carries weight, energy, significance.
It really emphasizes that, doesn't it?
Yeah, comparing each thought to a stone dropped into the pond of consciousness, sending ripples out far beyond what you might realize. So it's not just actions, but thoughts too. Huge impact.
And what I find really insightful is the stress on consciously directing that focus. The source suggests the old world thrives on fear, distraction. But if you intentionally point your attention towards love, hope, higher truth.
You starve the old paradigms. That's the phrasing.
Exactly. It's like you're choosing where the energy flows. You nourish the emerging light of the new earth. Joy is your compass. It's an active choice about your life force.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
If our focus has that kind of power, then this next idea, it takes it even further. This idea that you are the event. I think a lot of us might have been looking, outwards to the sky maybe for some big cosmic flight.
That's a common expectation.
But this message says the flash is not arriving to you, it is arriving through you. That's a massive shift from waiting passively to actively embodying it.
It's a critical distinction, yeah. The source is clear. This isn't primarily external. It's an undeniable brilliance igniting within. It uses the term Christos codes and clarifies this isn't necessarily religious in the traditional sense, but pure crystalline frequencies, like spiritual DNA almost. Divine remembrance waking up in your cells.
So your multidimensional self merging into the now,
Yeah.
bringing your, galactic and angelic identity online. That's what it's saying.
That's the gist of it. This great merge happens because you're willing to become it. It implies your whole perception of reality, your creative capacity just expands massively.
Okay. And as these internal changes happen, the source mentions this feeling of straddling dimensions. It says people might feel like they're drifting a bit, not fully anchored here in the physical. It's not just a feeling, it's consciousness expanding. I wonder, what does that actually feel like for people?
That's a good question. The source explains it as starting to reside energetically in the quantum field while you're still, going about your physical life, like having one foot in the physical, one in the non-physical. You're aware of subtle energies, other dimensions perhaps, even while you're stuck in traffic or doing chores.
So it's presented as a sign your vibration is rising, an expanded awareness beyond just the five senses.
Exactly, beyond what we typically see and touch.
This sounds like a reawakening. And the source does give this historical context, talking about returning energies. It mentions Christed energies, or Christ consciousness, being dormant on Earth for a long time, but now waking up. Inside individuals, and within the Earth's core, too.
Right, and it connects this directly to past lives, suggesting some of you listening might recognize these energies because you vowed to return. To continue a mission started potentially over 2,000 years ago, the source says, you are here fulfilling that ancient promise.
Wow.
Embodying this elevated state where your heart leads. It's validation, really, for anyone feeling that deep pull toward something bigger right now.
That's quite a link to the past. Which brings us to love's role in the present. The message really hammers this home. Love is the ultimate tool, the true reality. It says love is your most powerful tool, a boundless force that flows freely from within you.
Yes, crucially within you. Not something you have to go out and find. It's described as the innate spark of the divine already burning brightly in your own heart.
Building on that, the source argues that much of what humanity calls reality is simply the continuation of collective expectations and conditioning. That's a challenging thought.
It is, and it ties into how fear has been used historically as a tool of control, to keep people divided. But there's a hopeful note, too. It asserts that ancient knowledge survived, and now it is rising to the surface to guide your awakening.
So it's not just about old books, but like an intuitive knowing becoming available again.
That seems to be the idea, an inner wisdom you can tap into.
Okay, so with all these deep shifts happening internally, it makes sense that our outer lives, our relationship circumstances, they'd change too.
Dynamically, yes. The source says, as your vibration rises, your relationships naturally shift to match.
It does acknowledge it can be sad when old connections fade away.
But it frames that shedding of the old as a natural part of growth. You can't really hold on to frequencies that no longer align,
Right.
And it encourages using any periods of solitude that might arise for deeper interconnection as opportunities for realignment.
And then as you shine brighter, the idea is that kindred souls are drawn to you.
Exactly, forming these soul family bonds, connections that genuinely uplift and reflect your evolving truth, rather than maybe holding you back in old patterns.
You'll recognize them, it says, by a sense of soul recognition and mutual upliftment, like finding missing puzzle pieces.
A nice way to put it.
Now, things get a bit more specific time-wise here. This dawning of a new creative era. The source points to the coming year, 2026, is marking an immense shift in consciousness.
An immense shift, yes, where humanity supposedly starts to release so many of the old concepts about physicality and limitation.
Realizing they're creating their reality with their hearts. What does that mean exactly, creating with the heart?
Well, it suggests moving beyond just linear, logical cause and effect thinking, living as multi-layered beings. You can navigate human life while staying aware of your limitless divine nature. The universe being holographic and wholly inclusive implies you contain the whole blueprint within you, which gives you immense creative power.
So moving from feeling like a small part to realizing you contain the whole potential.
A subtle but profound shift in self-perception, yes.
And stepping into this new era requires
Anticipation, right?
dropping the old narratives. The source is pretty direct here. Time to leave behind old storylines you have outgrown. Things like identities built on lack, limitation.
Or those ego-based narratives, as it calls them, that insist life just happens to you, like you're a victim. Stories carried for eons, apparently. Ready to end now.
So what's left when those stories go?
According to the source, what remains is your true self. Radiant, weightless, and completely free. It's about realizing that light, that inner freedom, is your only real identity. The narratives were just filters.
So it's an act of conscious liberation.
Yeah.
Choosing to let them go.
Precise.
Given all this potential, what's our role? Your personal contribution. The message calls you a catalyst of transformation.
A powerful term.
It says on a soul level, you agreed to take on this mission. You chose to be here now for this.
Yes. And how do you fulfill that? It describes you as the furnace in which the heat of divine love is awakening all of humanity.
Okay.
Suggesting you're ready to throw all those old stories into the flames of transformation, let them crackle and burn away in the sacred fire of love, becoming pure light.
So it's not necessarily about big external actions, but this inner alchemy.
That inner work seems primary. The effects then ripple outwards.
And all this personal and collective work leads to understanding that a new reality is, well, it's already here, coexisting, and now emerging more fully.
Right. The source puts it like this. A world of love has always coexisted alongside the old one like a parallel dimension. We just haven't been tuned into it collectively.
Until now, perhaps.
Exactly. It describes this emerging reality as a conscious expression of God where everything is possible. And abundance isn't measured in, say, money or possessions primarily, but in overflowing love, peace, and fulfillment.
Realizing there are no limits now to what love can make real.
Yeah.
And that this reality was always available, just hidden by our old ways of seeing.
It's a perspective shift, making it visible, accessible.
Which all culminates in this idea of a collective awakening and the forming of a matrix of light. The source describes a new network based on unity and love that's already encircling the globe.
It's a beautiful image, like an energetic web connecting heart to heart in a radiant grid of consciousness. And it's co-created, it says, by light workers and starseeds, those individuals consciously tuning in and embodying these higher frequencies.
It's magnificent, really.
Yeah.
Reflecting our divine essence and building this new world together. Okay, we've covered a huge amount of ground in this deep dive, from the power of our own thoughts right up to this grand cosmic shift happening inside us and all around us. The source really keeps emphasizing that you are a key part of this great merge, this unfolding new earth, where love is the ultimate reality.
Indeed. It's a profound invitation, isn't it? To shed those old limiting narratives, embrace our multidimensional nature, and actually participate in co-creating a world based on compassion, on love. It's really a call to move beyond what we thought were limits and to recognize the incredible creative potential within every single one of us.
So as you, our listener, move forward from this deep dive, what does it all mean for you personally? How do you take this forward?
Well, if the source tells us that the turmoil and chaos you may see in the world are reflections of the profound inner transformation taking place within human hearts, and also that the only limit now is how much love and vision you will allow yourself to imagine, then maybe that raises a really important question for you to reflect on. In your own life, what challenge, what area of chaos that feels external and fixed? What if it could actually be transformed just by embracing a new inner vision, a vision rooted in love and possibility? What might shift then?